Hi kids, welcome to a broken tripod eye view of your reading for the year. Thought I'd bash one of these out for everybody. It's sort of an energetic check-in. We're going to be looking at what's happening in the next 12 months and then a theme of the year. So fingers crossed every high. January, February, March. That was easy. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. This was a bold move. But looking at it, it's really not too bad. So fingers crossed, here we go. January, you're fucked, right? So everybody did a little bit too much hoping, wishing, dreaming, etc. over the January season. And what we got is knackered, frankly. I do feel like I'm talking to God here, but from this angle, but still. Yes, 10 of Wands. So we've been like this. Right? One more straw will break the back, etc. Welcome to lockdown nails, by the way, loving life. Yeah, it's a tough time, the end, right? Like, it's just weird. And I think everybody had this kind of wartime, certainly in the UK, the wartime vibe of, I'll be over by Christmas, and it wasn't. So now we're all 10 of Wandsing, feeling pretty low. It's also about, like, physical repercussions of your actions, right? So if there are any increases of anything, that's reflected there. February, lots and lots of positive action moving in the right direction, which is exactly what we want to fucking see there, right? We want to see really good choices being made, really good stuff happening, really good stuff coming up. And then, yeah, hopefully, and I mean, this shows it's the right direction, but fingers crossed, that's a very positive thing, and the vibes start to release. The other thing as well, going from a 10 to an 8 means we're sort of relieving ourselves of some of those burdens that have been building up over the last few months. Then in March, we have this guy, right? The Hierophant. Now it's an Hierophant year, or Hierophant, depending on how good you are at speaking. So it's an Hierophant year, which is about us starting to get ownership of our boundaries. It's going to be quite governmentally led, again, unfortunately, if you can call that leading. And it's tough, but fair, is essentially the whole message. It's a lot of learning. It's a big astrological shift in who runs us, who owns our time, who puts structure into place. So it makes total sense. And it's interesting that it comes out in March, because that is when, for the majority of readings that I've done, it's been party, March, April. Good sign. Not reading too much into it, because I've been taught by 2020 not to hope. But, you know, it's really going to be an entire month of, one, relying on governmental advice, depending on your outlook, and two, assessing your own boundaries. What do you feel comfortable with? What are you okay with? What is your role within a society such as it exists? It's big stuff, right? This year is big Aquarius level thinking brain stuff, right? Followed by the star. Whoop whoop. Dreams, wish fulfillment. Excellent. Winner. Oxford vaccine dinner, right? It's a lot of excitement, a lot of fulfillment, a lot of joy, a lot of goals coming into fruition. It's exciting. If you're starting a business, it's a really flippin' good time to do it, right? The star as well is an Aquarius card. So it is all of this planetary stuff really starting to, throw its weight around a bit. Actually put those changes in place, let you see stuff, you know. We then have King of Wands coming up for, so that was April. Then we have May, King of Wands. On the one hand, sorry about it, it's going to be a bit of a dick swinging competition with those in authority, but we'll ignore that for now. We're looking at the collective as a whole. It's, judging by the cards that follow, that's not too much of a horrendous fallout. But certainly King of Wands is about sudden upsurges of creativity and invention, right? So again, gonna reference it, we're in Aquarius time now, right? Generationally. So it's going to be a hell of a lot more people who are, you know, coming up with all sorts of stuff that is genuinely innovative and interesting and can bring a lot of value to the world. Those ideas, and especially on the personal level, those ideas that you're having are incredibly important and should be nurtured, and will probably come into play if you did anything in January about manifestation, if you did anything about having dreams and stuff that you wanted to come true. That bit, that April-May turnover looks like the time that you have the energy to put all of that stuff into practice. Banging. Big focus on relationships in no sense of time. January, February, March, April, May, June. In June, with this one, it's a turning inward to look at your partner, turning inward to look at your romantic preferences. And it is really like that turn to the side where you're like, oh, hi, you've been here this whole time, thanks, you know, or, oh, hi, newbie. That's good. That does feel like a lot of people coming together. Pun intended, because I imagine the online dating scene to go absolutely hog wild the minute we're allowed to lick each other again. But Two of Cups is an excellent sign to see there as well if you are looking to go into business, because it can just mean collaborations, business partnerships, cracking, right? That's banging and cracking. Those are my official terms. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, Ace of Cups, right? Ace of Cups. So we go from a 2 to an ace. So from June being like, oh, hi, to July where we're like, hi, and a little bit cray-cray. I feel like there's a hell of a lot of unprocessed grief around for July. And if you have just magically met the one, or if you have just met an amazing business partner, maybe withdraw just to purge some of that. Might be a Capricorn stellium talking, but there does need to be a big old purge of the debris. It feels like just emotional debris, like you've pushed everything down an emotional U-bend, and it's got to come out somewhere. It has to come out somewhere. It just will. You know? So why not remove yourself for a couple of days, weeks, and let that really, really flood out. It does you the world of good, because come August, we are back in the money, which is nice for Edinburgh. But, you know, back in the money, we are feeling very secure. We have a lot of personal power. And this card seems to come up a lot. I imagine it's partly to do with this year, because this year also has vibes of personal power, with it being an Aerophant in numerology. It's 5, blah, blah, blah. But yes, it's ownership and responsibility, and all of those big words that are very earth sign energy, but also are very necessary. You're going to feel great once you've mastered them, right? August, September, even more money. September's big if you were looking for work. It's the sudden influx of money you've made yourself. Epic. If you were looking to go self-employed, do it in September. It's a really nice sunny time to do that, and you don't have a lot of fannying about and paperwork and things. It is literally carving security for yourself. So if you always wanted home insurance, September. If you want a little sort of side gig to support your income, do it in September. Start it in September, because it's just such a nice sign. The other thing as well, and it's interesting that it's September, is that our education starts going woof, and everybody is extremely interested in learning, educating, all the rest of it. Again, don't shoot me for being enthusiastic here, but we might even have some in-person learning happening again, where like we can gather in groups and build an actual community, because this card is all teaching and learning as well. If those are the things that you're hoping to make money with, even better, right? Because you're comboing it. But up to you. October, little baby in a child, sad face. October, lots of assessment. And again, we're looking at grief as a secondary theme to some of this. Tradition is a big theme, but tradition, depending on where you are, can dictate how you're grieving. Make sure that when you are processing any of these emotions, that you run it by your younger self as well. Make sure that tiny you isn't like kicking cans down the street because it's not being listened to. And it's, I don't know, street urchin from the 50s apparently. But you know, like just check in, do things that appease your child self, eat stuff that child stuff you like to eat, you know. Halloween might bring out a load of people's inner child, please do. And you know, it's Witchy New Year, so like it's going to be a big old assessment time for anybody on the scene, right? Yeah, mega. This is hello up there. Right, interesting. We go from inner child stuff in October to November, which is absolutely mega party. So make sure again that in October you take that time to rest, because it looks like for November and December you're going to be up to your eyeballs in fun, in parties, in weddings, in watching other people do stuff, in doing stuff yourself, all of this stuff, huge celebrations. Interesting that it's November that those things came up in this particular spread. Because it's not the most party month, really. But it's not bad at all. You know, it might be just like people doing a 2-month Christmas because they feel hard done by this year. Who knows? Final card of the year. Ace of Wands. So going into December, we're full of good ideas. We're very fertile. We're having a lot of fun. We're feeling incredibly positive, feeling inspired. So that's a really lovely way to go into winter solstice, to go like, oh, this is actually a really fertile position for me. Like, I feel really great. I'm doing really well, blah, blah, blah. The theme of the year is fascinating. So the theme of the year is the Emperor, right? The Emperor, which is, again, ownership. It's interesting because the last year was an Emperor year. So I wonder if the universe is like, take that one again, guys. But actually, this is a lot to do with, again, personal power, boundaries, ownership and leadership in your own life. And there'll be a lot of that. A lot of this is going to be a case that, particularly for people who felt, remember it's Hierophant time. So people who felt hard done by or maltreated by those in authority will start to feel a sense of authority themselves on a very wide scale. That can get a little bit dangerous sometimes, because obviously it can be people taking the law in their own hands. It can be people doing, you know, protests. That's not dangerous, but you know what I mean? Like, it can be a larger scale thing, but on a smaller scale, which is what I tend to deal with, particularly in personal readings, you're looking at suddenly being like, no, I'm in charge, actually, after a long period of feeling like you're unable to express that. We also get crossed over with that theme of the year, crossed over with the Two of Swords, trust the universe. You don't really get a say anyway, you know? So we are trusting that the moon's got our back, I guess, you know, or that our intuition is shit hot, or that all of this stuff, but actually a lot of it is just external influence and everybody just coping with it. And again, feels like huge echoes of this year. So really, I feel like this is a 2-year trauma condensed into 1 year, because humans love cycles. But really, we'll be feeling the effects of 2020 by the look of it until, like, well, forever. But like, by the look of it, November is the time when we really start to actually relax and breathe. But there is that huge surge of positivity around March, April again, where you're like, oh, okay, good. Wishing, wish granted. Yeah, not bad at all, right? Bit of a sigh of relief. I really genuinely was like, oh no, putting this off. But that's not bad odds for everyone. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments below. It might be useful to come back and check it and just sort of have a track. If you keep a journal at all, this is quite a handy one to have on you, just as an idea of sort of, even if you did your own wheel of the year, like the energy of the sort of general populace. Sometimes this really does, my stuff really does tune in astrologically as well. So you'll be watching cycles appear and it'll be nice to kind of come back and check in every couple of months and see how you are faring. I do offer personal readings online at the moment, but fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, as of April, I might be back out. Yes, personal readings. I have my Teaching Tarot course starting on the 18th of January. The early bird price finishes on the 5th of January. So check all the details out on my website. That's amberleealchemy.co.uk. You can follow me on Instagram while I still have an account, because there's been changes there, I guess. There is a mailing list should you choose to accept it. There's all sorts of ways to keep in touch with me and get updates on what is happening. I think that's all I need to tell you. Lots and lots and lots and lots of workshops and courses in the new year, in case you fancy learning something new. Again, all on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Just come along. It's good fun. Some of them are only an hour. All right. Good luck out there. Let me know how it goes. Happy New Year.